All right, so frame for the Discovery Cube. You guys already knocked it out. Just wanted to touch on the electrical and kind of what I saw for the lenses here when you go to assemble it. So good job knocking it out. Got it all taken care of. Looks great. So the main thing I just want to make sure, I know you see it on the PDF, but I want to stress that we want to make sure that that bonding guy is permanent. So whoever's assembling this needs to take the time to rivet, because it says like in UL, if something has the potential to become unbonded or ungrounded, you want to make sure you can't do that. So because we learned from Edgar's table how important it is to have something grounded. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and just take that number 10 and use a rivet. And I would also get those rivet. They should be there. The rivet washers, the special ones, not just the number 10 washer. And use that 5/32 washer and squeeze it in there really good and make sure it can't turn and make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And so make sure that one side is permanently and then the other side is permanently to the little tray. That way when it slides in and out, there's no reason. And if somebody wants to drill it out, then that's on them, because that way it can't be accidentally undone. So it's okay if this one's screwed, because they have to hook the service side to it or whatever. But for the most part, you want to make sure that is completely permanent. No excuse that this guy can get unhooked while still having the white and black wires attached without having ground. So anyway, just want to make sure that. And then the other one is just the lenses. When it all goes together, I wanted to tell you what was going on in my mind grapes about like how this actually goes together. So as you know, we kind of don't like, even though this is going to be an indoor sign and there's probably not going to be very much temperature fluctuation. Hopefully not. Hopefully their air conditioners work okay. But this is going to grow a little bit compared to your aluminum. The lenses are. So the whole idea is that once you get this thing ready to assemble, you're going to bend up the white on whites, and the white on whites go inside, and they're just going to double stick tape in there, right? But the idea is that the white on whites, as you can see like that, that's going to be your white on whites. They're going to trap the Plex on the inside there, the acrylic. So and when you go to put that in there, I think you want to have the acrylic first, and then you kind of smash it up against, put pressure, and then double stick tape down. Now that means, do you want to go ahead and do your LEDs first and then have little leashes, or make little connections, or do you, I don't know. It's kind of I don't know what's best to work inside that little channel. It might be better to just go ahead and put all this in first to make sure you get the acrylics in, and then go ahead and work your LED after. Just make sure you don't accidentally touch your soldering irons or anything to the acrylic there. But yeah, that's the only idea, is just making sure that you kind of smush. You're using the white on whites to smush against and trap the acrylics against the frame, the 090 face frame. Now, the other side of that is that since they'll be loose, when they go to put it against the wall, the idea is that the acrylic will bottom out against the wall. But what I'm worried about is that acrylic will be too, it'll be too loose, and then it might fall, and I don't know. So the idea is that maybe you can put some silicone in the corners, so that way it doesn't accidentally fall out if they're trying to lift this up to the wall, and then these guys are loose and one piece like slides out. That would suck. So where the corners are, maybe you can just take a little bit of silicone, and you can actually like silicone a little bit of the white on white, and then just take your finger and kind of fill in that corner, or maybe just get a little glob on the corners there. Maybe if there's room, you can maybe put a tiny little fillet weld glob in the middle as well. But this guy's going to be in the way for that. So I don't know how that'll work. But if you can try to figure out how to get a little silicone somehow into these corners here, and that would kind of wedge it once you get the white on white in there, you just want to make sure that acrylic is sort of kind of wedged in place so it doesn't come out. Because you can see what I'm saying is it might be a little loose coming out of there. So anyway, but that's the idea. You can see here, that's your tray, that's your LED. and then you're going to double stick tape that down, but it's going to sandwich that guy in there. And again, the clipped corners are the corners that go in. They'll bonk against each other. That way it looks all clean here. And as far as not having any space, the idea is not to have light leak right there, but things might happen, whatever. But that's the idea, is just get that lens in there, trap it with the white on white, but then try to make sure it gets wedged in so they can't slide out accidentally while they're trying to lift this to the wall or something. It is going to probably have to travel. It would be nice if it could sit in our van, so it doesn't have to go exposed, but it might end up being exposed to some sun on the way there. So these might get a little grumpy if there's a little heat involved by the time it gets back to gets inside where it's going to be nice and air conditioned. So anyway, that's my strategy on that. I hope it works out okay. I hope it's not too funky. And then again, just make sure we're permanent there to keep it safe for everyone. Also, if you have to, I guess, I didn't really make provisions, but if you have to make a double keystone, I think there's enough to go around. I don't know which product you'll use, if it's the 24 volt. If not, you might have to just double this up and maybe put a keystone on the other side, or try to figure out how to fit another keystone in there. Hopefully you could get it all done in one. So, and then of course the switch goes here. It faces this way. That way it's, you can access it. And that's your little switch on and off. So otherwise, I think that's it. You guys already knocked it out. Looks great. So, but if there's any other questions, hit me up. Check the